Hello and welcome to another update video about Cardano. Cardano moves up higher as expected pretty much. You know that I opened a long position here when we broke out of this, or actually before we broke out of this triangle. I would normally not open a long trade before breaking out of a pattern, but in this case I actually opened that long trade before that triangle formed, because it looked like we were breaking out of a different pattern. We had a bit of a rejection, we came down, but then things turned around in the end into my favor. I left the trade open when we moved slightly below the entry price. I think I opened it at around $1.14. $1.14, yes, exactly when we broke out and retested the 114 level. That was an important one here. You can see that on the 4-hour chart very well. That 114 level, where we had an inverse head and shoulders. You'll see it better on the 1-hour chart. And that was basically the breakout point here above the previous rejection point. We retested it. That is when I opened the trade. However, then we dropped down lower, all the way down to $1.11. But then we actually formed a triangle here, a trend continuation pattern. And we in the end moved up very impulsively above the 114 level. And that clearly shows where the bulls want to go here. And that in the end was in my favor. And I said that I will leave the trade open, which I did, which I will still do, and I will probably take the first profits here around 126. So for me, it's normally, I have a hodl portfolio. I've got a longer term swing trade portfolio where I, as you know, accumulated quite a lot in this range here across altcoins. I used my buy orders that I published on Discord. Often they triggered more than once. That's fine. That's how I did it. That's how I hold things for the longer term swing trade portfolio. It keeps the emotion out. And now, as we go higher, I'm going to take profits, but only in that swing trade portfolio when we go much, much higher. Therefore, I started to do some short-term trading now as well. When I open a long position, for example, on a short-term trade, this is usually higher value because it needs to make sense. Otherwise, I could just hold through. No, this is normally where I can make quite a lot of profit in a short time. For example, here between $1.14 and 126. That is not massive profit, but let's take a look what that actually means. Well, there would be above, let's say, a little bit more than 10% profits in a few days. Is not bad, depending on how much obviously you put in there. Now that would be, why is that the next take profit target? Well, it's the next swing trade, the next swing high here from the 8th of February. It is also the 50% Fibonacci retracement level. Now I won't close the trade completely. I will leave, maybe I'll take 40-50% out, and the next target would then be that $156 level. That would be up here, that peak. It's even 163, but we've got around that 156 level. First of all, it is the 38.2% Fib level, and we had resistance here in this area, and support here. So this will be another very important level that I'm looking at after we break through the 126 level. Is the low already in? Could we still go lower? Could we even make a lower low here and come back even down here lower? Maybe down to that 78.6% Fib level at 55 cents. Yes, that problem absolutely still exists, even though I think this has now become much less likely with Bitcoin's breakout above 45.8K. That now has activated Bitcoin's alternative scenario, and you can always take a look at my Bitcoin video for that. And before we come down, I think we will see further upside now for Bitcoin and the altcoins as well. Until then, we are going eventually to come down once more, but for many altcoins that could mean just a higher low, as I said before. So there should be another significant low coming for all altcoins, but the question is, will this be a higher low or a lower low? Currently, I think for the altcoins certainly that have reached my target areas, this could just be a higher low, and the low could then already be in, but it's too early to confirm that. This could still just be a fake out, but as I said, it has become much, much less likely, because now I would expect Bitcoin first to go up into the region between 55 and 65K before we really come down once more. So in that time period, Cardano and most other altcoins will be able to make a lot of way to the upside before they have to turn around then together with Bitcoin at some point, come down lower. But again, for altcoins, that could just be a higher low. Bitcoin in general, if I zoom in, we can see obviously we had that breakout of that triangle. Cardano made a higher high now, and yeah, is continuing to climb higher. So at the moment, I think we are pretty much climbing higher here. No reason currently for ADA to stop until we, I think, reach that 126 level. We are now getting to 120 already. As you can see, we don't have massive volume, unfortunately, so I'd like to have a little bit more volume. But so far, I mean, on the 4-hour chart, let's say how that is looking. 4-hour chart, again, we have currently upside coming up because the 4-hour is currently crossing bullish on the MACD. So I think this could give it another boost here to the upside. On the other hand, the RSI is already quite high, but it's still, you know, around the 70 mark on the daily now as well. So at some point you will have to have that retracement. We had a bit of a retracement here. That was not a lot. So I think it currently seems to have the power to move here still a little bit higher before we get that retracement, especially as it broke that previous high at yeah, pretty much here around $1.20, or we are actually there now. So let me just make it a little bit larger. Oh yeah, we are currently at that 120 swing high here. You can see it on the daily actually. So that is why we have resistance here. Okay, so important resistance level here as well after we broke out of the triangle. So I correct myself, this is an important resistance level, but Cardano should be able in the current environment to move through it, and then 126 will be the next major level. All right, that's my view here on Cardano at the moment. I'll keep you updated, of course, also how my trading position is going. Hopefully you liked the update. If you did, please hit the like button, leave a comment and subscribe. And if you really like the content, then check out the channel membership. Thanks a lot for watching. Bye-bye.